Welcome back to the 5 biggest problems with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So starting off at number 5 is level scaling. Now this is something that I wasn't very happy about, and I don't think that many people were. See, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the first open world Pokemon games, and I can't get too mad at them for some things, but this one was kind of important. See, level scaling provides a balance, so you can go basically anywhere you want without having to worry of being too low of a level. What I don't understand is that there's not basically any reason at all for this to not be in there except for one or maybe two reasons. See, one of the only real reasons to actually not have level balances or level scaling is because Nintendo still wants you to follow a certain path, and that path is kind of already laid out. With the map layout, there's kind of a clear path that they want you to go in. Now, they do kind of misplace a couple of gyms here and there, so they aren't directly in order, but the gyms are so close that in the end, it really doesn't matter. And the only other reason to have this is so travelers can't randomly catch certain Pokemon that are too high of a tier to start off their game, like having a Gabite at level 10. You know, that would make sense, but that's not exactly a hard thing to avoid. See, instead of cutting level scaling completely and making it the way it is now, scaling can be completely different. Basically, just change the Pokemon spawns in the wild. It's not that hard. See, if you're a lower level, the game should be able to just recognize that, oh, maybe you're level 20, so ye shouldn't have these Pokemon spawns or these Pokemon evolutions or these Pokemon levels. So these guys just won't spawn, and these lower tier Pokemon, like say a Fletchling or a Noctli or a Rattata, they can all spawn instead, and they'll be the level that's supposed to be. And not only does this work with wild Pokemon, you can do it for the same thing with gyms, where you can take a gym, and the gym, when you enter it, will see that, oh, your levels are either higher or lower than what you're supposed to be, or they expect you to be at this gym, because they should still have a route they might want you to take, but you shouldn't be forced into that, and that's where all the gyms should be based off of. And basically, so when you walk in, oh, you're 10 levels higher, basically, so we're gonna jump our Pokemon all up by 6 levels, and these 3 Pokemon are gonna evolve because they're not at their final evolutions. And doing that would have so much balance, and level scaling wouldn't be such a big issue. You would just have to set a level range for different teams that the gym could use. So say you're level 10 to 20, you would use this team, but if you're level 22 or 21 to level 30, you use this team, and it's just slightly higher levels or slightly different Pokemon that still fit the gym type, or they are more or less evolved Pokemon, and it really helps out. And it would give a lot of reasons for them to have the long cutscenes that they do have. And speaking of cutscenes, coming in at number 4 are definitely the long cutscenes. It's absolutely ridiculous. See, Pokemon has always been known for having a lot of dialogue, but between all of the dialogue in the new games and the long cutscenes, it just combined is way too much. See, before and after most gyms, you literally have like 3 or more minutes of where, if you've already been through the conversation, you can just spam buttons. You could just spam A, and it's 3 minutes of just smashing A or whatever to get through the conversation. And it's actually so annoying once you've already been through it. Plus, it's more annoying the red cutscene that you get before and after gyms. It is the most annoying thing in the world. Like, I don't understand this red cutscene right here. This one specifically, it literally lasts almost 30 seconds long. It is ridiculous. It's really bothering to constantly see that, especially when you're trying to just get through a game or recording videos, or maybe you're doing a speedrun or something. That is one of the worst things, is just to sit there, and that's nothing you can do about it. It's just the game, and it's programmed to sit there for 30 seconds trying to read that, and it's so annoying seeing that on repeat and repeat and repeat. But enough talking about the stupid cutscenes. Before we continue, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below if you guys do enjoy. Let me know if you made it this far into the video. Comment pineapple. Honestly, just comment pineapple, and I love to go ahead and heart your comment. Let's go ahead and get right back into the video. Getting into number 3, and this is a one I almost didn't put on the list because I still don't know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna go with I personally don't like this addition to the game whatsoever. And number 3 is the move relearner, except it's not the regular move relearner, it's the free move relearn. So basically, in every Pokemon game up until Scarlet and Violet, if you want to relearn a Pokemon move, you either need a TM, an HM, or you need to go to a move tutor or move relearner, which would usually cost you something in return, which is completely fair. So a part of the challenge was, you know, choosing your moves, but doing this, there's no consequence to doing it, and it's so annoying. I guess it's really helpful for the new time players, but at the same time, choosing your moves with a limitation on it was a really big part of Pokemon that made it challenging, because you had to go, okay, you had to know the physical special splits, you had to know the typing differences, but you also might need a coverage move, you might need a setup move, you know? You had to have a balance between the way you choose your moves, otherwise you couldn't run your Pokemon. You couldn't just have all attacking moves, or if you did, each one needed a different chance. Like, this one can freeze, this one can flinch, this one can lower their accuracy, so each one had a secondary effect or a different reason to use their move, and that was a big part of having it be more of a challenge. But now you can just switch them out whenever you want, and it really makes it basically doesn't matter at all whether you replace a move or not. And it's really weird. It's like the whole idea of getting rid of HMs, and they continued it of just getting rid of move tutors and stuff as well, and move relearners, and I don't like it. The getting rid of HMs was a beautiful move. That's gorgeous. They absolutely should have done that forever ago. But doing this, I feel like it just makes certain things absolutely way too easy in some aspects, and it's just not fun in that way to me. It takes out a good bit of the actual challenge of having the 4 move limitation. Now, before we move on to number 2, I want to mention, as we always do in these videos, some honorable mentions for the worst things in this game. Now, the biggest problems, and to start off with that honorable mention list, is definitely that it's not an open world Pokemon game. The reason that didn't make the list is because, yes, it's technically an open world Pokemon game. Scarlet and Violet are open world Pokemon games, but to me, as a very, very long time Pixelmon fan, they don't feel like open world Pokemon games whatsoever. See, when you first play, it almost feels like it's so closed off because you feel like you have to battle the Titans to get the Maraudian or whatever boost abilities to actually be able to travel the map, and you don't have to. You really don't. The only one you really need is the Titan from Cloth, so you have a speed boost, and you don't need any of the other abilities. So you technically can get to each place without the abilities and without fighting the Titans, but at the exact same time, it's just not as fun because there are so many mountains and rivers, and I get what they were going for. They were going for aesthetics and stuff, but they kind of made it too much for clutter. And I really enjoy the map and really hate it all at the same time because it's open world. You can go everywhere without certain things, but it's also not open world. Like, you can't get to North Passage Area 1 at all without defeating the Titans and everything. You need at least the double jump or the rock climbing one, I think, to get over there, and it's super annoying. Maybe the gliding one as well, I don't know. It's just not very fun to have it. So yes, you can go everywhere, but it's so almost closed off. It feels like it because they have that direct path they almost want you to follow, like I mentioned before, and it really just doesn't feel like it. Because when I think open world Pokemon game, I still go to Pixelmon after years of being it, and I think maybe that could just personally be me. But that's also one of the reasons I didn't put it on the direct list, because they did it right, and it is their first open world Pokemon game, so a little bit of slack for once. The second honorary mention is Evil Teams. Now, this one I was so very close put on the list, but it just missed out on a couple things because this has just been coming in for a while. Now, I think it's Gen 6, Kalos region. We stopped having evil team. No, we still had an evil team in Gen 6. We had Team Flare. Gen 7 is when we stopped having evil teams, right? We had Team Skull in Gen 7, the Alola region, and they were kind of evil, but they weren't really evil. I miss the evil teams in Pokemon. They were so much better than these nice, crappy teams that we have now. Like Team Star, they're just a bunch of kids who feel like they need to be a part of their own group, so they created their own group when they took it a bit too far. That's it. They're a little bit of a bullies, and that's about it. And yeah, bullying, it doesn't need to be a thing. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be taken care of or whatever, and whatnot. That's always been a discussion. But there's no evil teams were such a good part of Pokemon. It helped the story, it helped you feel like you were winning, and it was always fun to have the meme of a 10-year-old kid beating these evil teams, and it really was. And you just don't have that anymore. You don't have that adventure of climbing up to like Mount Coronet to battle, you know, the evil team Galactic, to defeat them and catch Dialga or something. That excitement, that rouse, is just not there. It's just not. Like, I mean, Scarlet and Violet's legendary Pokemon, I didn't even realize they were legendary Pokemon. I thought the 2 riding bike Pokemon were the only legendaries, but apparently there are Pokemon in Area 0, like the Snow Leopard or whatever it's called, that are legendaries. I had no idea they were even legendary Pokemon. That's ridiculous. Your legendary Pokemon didn't stand out enough for me to know they were legendary, and you don't have evil teams that even make them shine, because usually they're trying to capture those legendary Pokemon of that generation, and it's just not there. The thrill, that excitement, is just not there. And the very last honorable mention is Terraforms. Now, this is specifically just their physical looks and has nothing to do with the stat gain or typings or anything like that. For the most part, I really like Terraforms. I'm still getting used to them and how they technically work and what the stats really are for the buffs, but their physical look, I can't stand it. Now, if they had just crystallized the entire Pokemon itself, I would enjoy it, but adding the stupid headwear annoys me so much. With the bookcase, or the flower, or this random seed or whatever on top of their heads, or this ball of crystal, whatever. It's so annoying because I think it looks so dumb. It looks janky. It looks uncomfortable, and it feels like they shouldn't have, like, in my mind, an ideal for, like, when I come to a Pokemon battle, even when I'm playing a Pokemon game, I think it should feel like more like an anime battle, like from the Pokemon anime. And that's kind of the feeling I would even get when playing Pokemon, even if the animations don't line up, obviously, because it's a game versus an animation for a TV show or whatever. But it's just not there. It's just not there. When I look at the terraforms, they feel so clunky and bulky that they don't really do anything. You know what they feel like? They feel like Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon, because those were crap. Those were the stupidest things they've ever added to Pokemon. I can't believe I like Z moves a little bit. Megas were the best, but flipping Dynamax and Gigantamax, I hated it. It always felt and slow and kind of and it's not really there. That the battle hype was never there. Everything feels so much slower, and the power that they were supposed to suppose from that never felt the same. And I have the exact same feeling when it comes to terraforms, except that they look so much stupider because they have a giant crystal piece of whatever on the top of their heads, and it's so annoying. All right, now that we're done with our honorable mentions, coming in at number 2 has to be gym tests / puzzles being missing. Now, I miss the days when we had actual puzzles for our gyms. I miss it so much, and this is the reason why. When I do, like, my Pokemon Violet Nuzlocke series I'm currently doing, I just cut out the gym tests. Like, all the gym tests you have to do before you can actually battle the gym in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I cut them out of my recordings because they're so boring and they're the exact same every single time. While with puzzles in the old gyms, they were the exact same puzzles in, say, the same games, but a slightly different puzzle in a slightly different game. Now, the gym test could be different between Scarlet and Violet, and I don't know that because I don't have Scarlet to really look at that. But even then, the tests are so boring. They're not. The funness of the puzzles was trying to get through the puzzle and remember how to do it, because you, especially for like Nuzlockers, or like when you're racing someone through a Pokemon game, or just any basic situation, I'd like to, when I was recording for the older games, you could go through the puzzle and you would have to fight trainers and try to survive while not having to leave the gym, because it would reset your progress on whatever puzzle you were doing, and you would have to redo that. You wouldn't have to refight the trainers, but you would have to redo the puzzle, which was annoying. So the idea was to get through all the puzzle and all the trainers without losing too much HP or Pokemon. Then you go through and fight the gym trainer, with the gym leader, I mean. And that was so much better, and it was a lot more interesting for content too. But going in just to do, let me push this giant olive into a red basket, that's literally one of the first out of, I think that's the second gym test you do, the grass gym test. You're literally pushing a big olive into a red basket around some walls. It's so stupid and boring. Half of them, I think over half of them, you don't even battle any gym trainers. I know you do with Lono's gym, the electric gym, you battle 2 gym trainers while play hide and seek with your professor. That's all you do. You play hide and seek and you battle 2 gym trainers. Most of the gyms you don't battle trainers though. The only one I know you battle a trainer every single time is the very last gym, the psychic type gym, and it's, you know, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's bad for content. It's not fun to do on repeat. It's not challenging. It's just an annoyance, and I hate doing it every single time I go to play the game and I have to do one of those gym tests, especially because I've already done them. Because I didn't have that same annoying feeling when I went to go do the old school puzzles from any other Pokemon game. I didn't have that, oh, I've got to do this just to beat the gym. No, it was a part of the challenge. This is just an annoyance that you have to do before the gym, because there's not actually a challenge whatsoever. Now, finally, coming in at number 1. This has to be number 1. There's no other problem that has to be number 1 except for this one, and it is the single most longest running issue with all of Pokemon. Every single Pokemon game has this exact same issue. If you don't know what it is yet, then you really need to listen up here, please. It is the single save slot of a Pokemon game. It is so stupid. It is the stupidest thing. It doesn't make any sense. We are 9 generations in. We are over 2 decades into Pokemon, right? And we still have only 1 save file for our games. We have to create a whole new profile just to play the game again instead of having a secondary save file. Why is that? It is the most retarded, stupid, it literally makes no sense. It literally has no purpose. There's not a single reason in the world why you wouldn't have multiple save slots or multiple save style slots for you. But no, if you're on the Switch, you have to make a completely different profile to do. I've got 6 profiles just for Pokemon Violet because of how much content I've recorded on. I have my live streaming one, I have my 2 or 3 different versions of my Nuzlocke because I played really poorly in the beginning and I lost a time or 2, and then I have my one where I did my Fuecoco only. That's 3 or 4 right there already. That's kind of ridiculous. I have to have 4 different profiles to have my 4 different save slots or whatever for my Pokemon games. Just give me 3 save slots so I can overwrite the old ones when I don't need them anymore. It is the stupidest thing to ever exist, and it makes absolutely 0 sense why Nintendo continues to keep this flaw inside all of their Pokemon games. It has no reason, it has no purpose, and it doesn't help you out. All it does is actually hurt and annoy you. And I cannot be, and I know that I am not the only one who thinks this, because if you're against me on this, you literally make 0 sense. There's not a single reason to be for this support, to be for one save file. There's not one. And if you can give me a proper reason in the comments down below why we should only have one save file, I'll congratulate you and I will make an apology video. Specifically to you, I will make an apology video to that if you do that. I'm not even joking either, because I can't think of a single reason, and I thought about it for 10 minutes. I can't think of a single reason why you would only have one save file, and well, that would be a good thing to have on any video game, let alone Pokemon. But guys, that's a great place to go ahead and end off today. I hope you guys did enjoy this list. I got a little heated at the end there, but make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below if you guys did. I'll see y'all next time, Rockstars. Peace.